Hey, Yetta, do I have old man strength?
Well, they say muscles don't know age.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
So we're excited that we've created for you free access to over 603 Life's Inside Track episodes where we share insider tips, making house home, how to get the most out of your life and your space. And the great news is you can get access to them from home, from the office, or on the go. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? And so what we're going to explore this time is how do we make our next season, this season, our best season? And not get hung up on age.
Right. And that's why I think I'm getting stronger with age.
You actually are. And I actually had somebody ask me yesterday at the hairdresser's if, in fact, I was in better strength today and in better shape today than I had ever been in my life.
Ooh. And what was the answer to that?
Well, I pondered for a second. And then I said, yes, actually, yes, I am.
Really?
Like it was almost a shock to the system. I think that I am. You don't think so? You obviously have a hesitation there.
Well, you know, we're not youthful. And I think as a youth, sometimes, you know, we talked about regret the other day. And sometimes I regret that when I was younger, I didn't put on more muscle mass. And not that I don't have muscle mass now, because I do. And it's harder to put on muscle mass as you age. When you get into your 40s, 50s, 60s, that's why sports people don't generally, you know, continue playing sports into maybe 45. But you don't see athletes that are playing in the NHL, for instance, that are 55, because it's very hard to maintain. And so I wish that, you know, we talked about regret, and regret's not a bad thing. I just wish I had spent more time when I was in my 20s building muscle mass, because muscle has a memory, and it's easier to maintain it once it's already been built.
Except you just said two totally different things. So
Really?
I'm so
Did I confuse you?
confused.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
talk to
confused.
me.
So if I'm confused, I suspect you might be confused too.
Maybe.
I don't know how you do that.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. I love that. So you said that as we age, people don't tend to play the heavier duty sports because they don't have the muscle or the ability to retain the muscle.
It's more work to do it.
Right. And then you said then there's muscle memory, so you wish you'd done it when you were younger. So
Yes.
Can you unpack that for me?
Yeah, well, if I had more muscle going into my 30s, 40s, 50s, it'd be easier to maintain that than to, right now I'm building more muscle than I had when I was in my 20s.
Right.
Right? Remember when we got married?
Yes.
128 pounds.
I
You
know.
can't have a lot of muscle mass or bone density when you're 128 pounds as a man.
Right.
5'10".
Yeah, you can't do it.
No.
And so what we're really saying is as we age, we want to sage. We want to make that the next season of our life, the one we're in now, is the best one ever. And the only way to do that is by making some choices that maybe are different. And maybe you've already made all the right choices. Maybe you don't have any regrets in this area. Email us, stay connected with us so that you can inspire us on our journey, because it's been a hard one battle. And I say one battle because I think we're winning it as we go, because it gives us more choices in terms of where we're living, how long we're living there, who's living with us, and just everything around housing. Strangely enough, because I know our business is real estate. So I don't want to miss and think that we're now talking about just fitness and just aging and all these other things. And yet how we live in our home and whether we can live in our home has everything to do with real estate.
And I'd rather live in my home and be fit and healthy mentally and physically and spiritually than really struggle to live in my home, you know, carrying in the groceries, carrying in something. And then, you know, the other day I was talking to a client and they were off to the concert and they were talking about retirement and they're, you know, and I said, well, we're about the same age. And they go, no, we're not. And I said, well, I think we are. And I said, how old are you? And they said, well, we're 65. And I said, well, I'm 61. And they go, I had no idea. And that made me feel really good that I'm holding on to youthfulness, right? But that's not the point. The point is, I want to be there for you and my children and my grandchildren. I want to be able to play with my grandchildren, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking like play chess with them.
Well, you like to do that too.
Yeah, but I like to be able to do something physical, play soccer, kick the ball around, throw the, baseball.
The plastic axes.
Yeah, whatever it is. I love trying to challenge them and see if they can beat me or not.
Right. And so really, what are those things, which is what we're asking you, what are those things that maybe you're not doing right now that you know if you did them, you would be enjoying your life right now even more than you are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to invite you into our community. Send us an email at together@DeckerTeam, and we'll connect you and we can carry on the conversation. Yet I was thinking of your parents the other day, and I love I love both your parents. Love them to death.
They're like your parents.
They are. I love them to death. And
that's a horrible weird saying, isn't it? You've just said it twice.
I love them until I'm dead. How's that? And your dad, he's 82.
83.
About 83, yeah. And he goes to yoga 7 times a day.
A week.
A week. Sorry,
week.
7 times a week, not a day.
7 times a day.
I missed my thought because I was thinking he gets up early in the day to be the first class every day he goes to yoga. And, worked physically all his life. And he's pretty spry, kind of, And then I look at your mom has made different choices as far as the amount of movement, and she's a little overweight, and her joints are starting to take, problems
and
with
there
that.
may be some hereditary with it. There may be lots
it becomes a
of
vicious
things.
cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she's not in movement. And the other day she fell on her face, and it's when you lose your ability to have balance and strength and muscles and get up. Right? That's your independence muscle, right? When you can stand up, you were talking about that in the first phase.
Well, your independence muscle is your buttocks, actually.
I know, but that helps you get up.
Because it helps you get up. Yeah.
Right. When you lose that, you lose some of your independence.
Right. And it makes it harder to live at home.
And that's aging, not saging.
Exactly. And so Dad's thought process, and it's kind of interesting, you'd say hot yoga. Now, why does he get up at 3 a.m? For those days that the first class is 6 a.m., he gets up at 3. And that's
I have no idea why he's up at 3.
I asked him, I said, Dad, come on. And he said, well, I need to take the dog for a walk for an hour because that's the dog's routine and my routine. I need to be allowed my half hour, 45 minutes just getting ready in the bathroom. And I said, Dad, what are you doing? And he goes, it doesn't matter. I want to move at my pace. And I want to keep learning and I want to keep reading and I want to get there. So I'm the first one in the class. So I get the position at the back of the room when the room's clean and there's been there's nobody else there. He gets there early, goes in. And these are all little tiny choices that give him a better experience because he can't hear everything. So he needs to be at the back so he can watch other people.
Yeah.
Right? And so we're really asking you just to consider what simple little choices do you want to make that allows you to keep moving it so that you don't lose it.
Right. And what's your favorite quote?
Well, if you don't move it, you're gonna lose it.
So together we're qualifying your options because your wisdom will then flow.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.